Hello, everyone. This is Larry Jackson, the writer and creator of Overcoming American Ethnic and Racial Implicit Bias and the program CDFG, the College Debt Free Graduation Program. If you've reviewed everything that we've sent to you at this point, you should realize that there were 17 main points in the program. And the most important of those points is getting that SOI, the statement of interest, into us. There's no obligation at this point. We are merely trying to determine the demand for graduating college debt free and the demand for participating in the program Overcoming American Ethnic and Racial Implicit Bias by submitting your, viewing the movies and submitting your questionnaires relative to your opinions in regards to the events that take place in the several episodes in the movie. Hello again. At this point, I'm going to tell you three short stories that will get the point across, I hope, to have you act in your best interests. The first story is about a man that's in a hole. And he's in this hole, and it's just deep enough that he can't climb out. And as he's in this hole, he's yelling, "Help, help, get me out of the hole." And the first person that walks by is a minister or a priest. And he says, "Help, help, get me out of this hole." And the priest looks down and he says, "Oh, you're down there." He says, "I'll throw this Bible down to you. Maybe that'll help you get out." And the next person that walks by is a lawyer. And the lawyer is walking by and the man yells, "Help, help, help, I'm in this hole. Can you get me out?" And the lawyer looks down the hole and he says, "I'll throw this law book down to you. Maybe that'll help you get out." And the next person that walks by is a doctor. And the man yells again, "Help, help, help, let me get out. I'm in this hole. Let me get out. Help me to get out." And the doctor says, "I'll throw this medical book down there. That'll help you. Maybe that'll help you get out." And the last person that walks by is his friend, his best friend. And he says, "Help, help, help. Let me get out. Help me get out." And his best friend jumps down into the hole. And the man looks at the best friend and he says, "What did you do that for? Now we're both stuck down in this hole." And the best friend looks at him and he says, "We might be stuck down in this hole, but I know the way out." So the moral to that story is experience may be a good thing to rely on. So the second story is about a man who is in a beach town, and there's a storm, a tornado or a large storm coming. And the first thing that happens is the weather report says there's a large storm coming. It's going to be very, very high waves and so forth. You need to get away from the shore because people, if you're at the shore, people are likely to drown. So everybody leaves. But the man, he says, "I'm not leaving. I'm a good Christian. God will save me." So the storm gets higher and higher, and the next thing that happens is a man in a boat comes by, and he says, "Get in the boat, get in the boat. It's going to be too high for you to survive." And the man says, "No, no, 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 I'm not leaving. God will save me. I'm a good Christian. God will save me." And the next thing that happens is the storm gets very high, like the man in the boat said it would, and the guy drowns. Uh, and and now he's really mad because he said, "God didn't save me." And he goes up to heaven and he demands an audience with God. And, and he says, "I've been believing in you all my life, and you didn't save me from the storm." And God says, "I sent you a weather report. I sent you a man in a boat. And oh yeah, did you see the helicopter? I sent you a guy in a helicopter. And you still didn't leave. What the heck is wrong with you?" So the moral to that story is that things that may be good for you may be right in front of you, and if you don't take advantage of them, you may miss them. So the last story is, I was from the information you got from me, you should know that I was a graduate. I'm a graduate of Seattle University, which is a Jesuit school, and Seattle University's sister school in Los Angeles is Loyola University, and also Loyola High School is a Jesuit school. In Seattle, Loyola, who was a great Jesuit, they named the priest house Loyola Hall, and we, the students there, called Loyola Hall the home for the unwed fathers. Anyway, back in the 60s, which was a very volatile protesting year, they protest over the Vietnam War and over inequality to black students and black people in many communities across the United States. In any event, the students there, a lot of the black students there, decided to launch one of the first black students' unions. And one of the things that they accomplished was getting a black professor on campus to teach black history, which of course in those days was not very, very prominent in the history departments. It was like the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th century. There were no black people noted for anything. Maybe George Washington Carver, which was the obvious, developer of the peanut and so forth. Martin Luther King, of course, was very noted in those days because of the nonviolence movement that he was professing. But the history was just not where it is today. We didn't have Black History Month then. And notice they gave us the smallest month, 28 days. So they got the accomplishment of getting a black professor. And the white students there were about 5,000 students on campus and about 50, maybe 75 black students. When they got the professor, the white students filled up the history class because they were seniors and juniors, and the black students were just coming there, and they were mostly freshmen and sophomore. And so the moral to that story is that you don't want to wait when you have an opportunity like this, a debt-free college graduation program to fill up. We're going to send out initially to the HBCUs and other universities that have a large number of black students, Hispanic students, Asian students, as a percentage of their population or enrollment. So what I'm saying here is when you get the SOI, the student affairs officers, if you send that back as soon as you finish the evaluation of our email, that will further guarantee that your school will be involved in the program. The students will get their SOIs closer to the air date of the first episode of Overcoming American Ethnic and Racial Implicit Bias, and then the program will move on from there. They will also be asked to send their SOIs in as quickly as possible so we can do the evaluation and let our sponsors know what the anticipated audience will be. So that's it. I'm Larry Jackson, the director and executive producer, and the writer of Overcoming American Ethnic and Racial Implicit Bias. And I'm looking forward to seeing your student body involved in the program, and we'll go from there. Thank you for listening, and have a nice day.